Hello, my name's Rob. I'm part of the clergy team at Portishead Church of England, and welcome as you join us for our thought for this week. I don't know about you, but I love the book The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings that came after it. I loved reading it as a child, and it's a book that I loved reading as well to both my daughters. It's a great story and it's so well written. And I have a theory that when Tolkien was writing The Hobbit, he had in mind that most beautiful and best known of psalms, the 23rd Psalm, "The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want." It's a psalm that takes us through different landscapes, through this beautiful pastoral scene, a little bit like the Shire, through Death's dark vale, through different scenes, and those seem to be echoed by Tolkien in his book. It's really lovely, and it's a book. It's a psalm that has brought comfort to God's people for probably 3,000 years since King David wrote it, as he wrote these words of comfort to the people of God, and I'm sure that it's a psalm that was on Jesus's mind when he told a story which is in our passage for this Thursday in the lectionary, which comes from Luke 15, and I'm sure again that it will be familiar to you. And it goes like this: "Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to listen to him, and the Pharisees and the scribes were grumbling and saying, 'This fellow welcomes sinners and eats with them.' So he told them this parable: 'Which one of you, having 100 sheep and losing one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the one who is lost until he finds it? When he's found it, he lays it on his shoulders and rejoices. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and neighbours, saying to them, "Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost." Just so, I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who need no repentance." That lovely passage and Psalm 23 echo one another in really lovely ways, but they also do something a little bit different. But together, I think they provide a message that it's really, really important for us to hear today. The psalm reminds us that wherever we may go, whatever life may throw at us, God is with us. Whether we find ourselves in green pastures by still waters, or we find ourselves in dark woodland or in death's dark vale, the psalmist says, in all these places, God is with us. He is holding us. Life brings a variety of stuff. It brings different seasons, different landscapes. But in all of them, God is with us. It's a psalm that is often read at funerals, and with good cause, because there we find ourselves in the valley of the shadow of death. And it's so important to be reminded that God is there with us. And as we face so many challenges in the modern world, we face war in different parts of the world, most notably in Ukraine. We face the challenge of rising household bills, of economic struggle. It's important that we recognise that even in these situations, God is there with us, as He's with the people in Afghanistan and Ukraine and North Korea and the Yemen and all of those places too. But Jesus takes this story and He does something a little bit different with it in the parable, because He reminds us that sometimes we find ourselves in difficult situations because we've got ourselves a bit lost. We've made some bad mistakes and gone astray. And there's this lovely image of not just the shepherd being with us, but actually searching us out, going and finding us where we've hidden ourselves under a scrubby bush somewhere in the desert, and coming and picking us up, putting on his shoulders, taking us back, and throwing a party to say, look, I found them. And sometimes we need to hear that story too, to know that wherever we may put ourselves, whatever mess we may feel we've made of things, Jesus comes and he finds us. He doesn't stop loving us, but he picks us up and he carries us back. I love the words that Philip Yancey reminds us of about grace, where he says, there's nothing I can do that will make God love me more. And there's nothing I can do that will make God love me less. And it's that, I think, that is encapsulated in this beautiful little story of Jesus coming and searching out those who really need him. So if that's where you find yourself today, then I hope and pray that you'll take comfort and reassurance from those words. But if actually you find yourself today looking around at a world that's in a mess and going, where is God? Then read the words of Psalm 23 again and remind yourself that even in these dark times, God is there. And that's been the witness of God's people over 3,000 years. It'd be lovely to spend some time with you. God bless you.